Hello, good morning. It's currently 5:53. Up bright and early. I set my alarm for 6 this morning. I was like, you know what? I haven't got any PTs, I'm gonna have a bit of lying. What does my body do? Bang on, 5 o'clock wakes me up. Every single morning, no matter what time I go to bed, I will wake up at 5 o'clock. But I guess that is the good thing about going to bed and waking up at the same times. When you do wake up, you feel wide awake. Like right now, I feel wired. Not wired, but I feel just energetic, like I'm ready to start the day. I feel I'm in a good mood. And I thought to myself, why not pick up the camera and do a YouTube video? Because I've not done one in a while. And it's about time. So today's a special day. It's a training day. That's why it's a special day. So I'm just going to show you a day in the life. All my meals, maybe some clips from PTs, a little bit from Upper at La Coach, the best gym. I'm trying to train there more frequently as well because I had a bit of a run-in with one of the PTs at Gainz, Bedford. Not going to go on about it too much here, but long story short, I'm not training there anymore because there's just too many toxic people and I can't be bothered to be around in that environment. And if it means that I have to drive an extra 5-10 minutes to get to a way better gym, better equipment, nicer people. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the people at Gainz Bedford are lovely. Like I've got a lot of time for the people there, but some of them, a select few, nah, not for me. So yeah, driving to La Coach, like I said, better kit, better gym, better atmosphere, good posing room as well. So that is the plan for today's session, Saturday and Sunday session, and then my only other session is lower on Thursday, which I do at Gainz St.Neots, and then I do like a little top-up arm day / side delts, which is on a Monday, and I do that at Gainz St.Neots as well. So let's get started with the day. First up, some supplements, some drugs going in the cabinet. Going in the cabinet? Going in the... getting it out the cabinet and going in the hatchet. Let's get started with that. Now, don't worry, I know what your next question is going to be. Jan, what supplements do you take to look as massive as you? And I'm going to tell you. First up, we've got a hydration formula. This one's fantastic by Perform. Coconut watermelon flavour. I can't say I know what this tastes like by itself because I always mix it with this other stuff. But then we've got glutathione, which is an antioxidant. Really overall good supplement. Helps with overall immunity. I think this, not a staple, but if you want to take your training seriously and your health seriously, this is a very good product. Lipid Max for cholesterol. And then we've got Vital Support by JP. Cure Coming. An Omega supplement again by JP. Vitamin C. Red Yeast Rice. Telmisartan Love Heart by JP again. And that is everything in this room. And that is on this little shelf just here. And then we go into the other room for more supplements. Oh, fucking hell, there's just supplements everywhere in this flat. And then this is our second drug cabinet. I mean, you've got food in there, you've got shakers, you've got tubs, you've got all the cat stuff there. Some food stuff, cream of rice at the bottom, more whey in the corner. So in this cabinet, I've got my creatine, glutamine, and then mix it all together. And down the cabinet, as he says. The only thing I'm missing is vitamin D3 and K2, but I have just placed an order with Full Bore Sports. You can use my code JAN10 if you want to get some money off. And yeah, that should be coming in the next few days. Let's drink this. Drugs in one hand. Lovely morning smoothie in another hand. Bit of dribble. Actually tastes alright, you know. Right. By the way, these, I just sprayed me in the face. Great for mixing shit. if you've got powders in the morning, get yourself one of these little bad boys. We also use it when it comes to making our Ninja Creamy, because mixing the protein powder with the milk and then the sweetener is a bit of a mission, so they're great. You can probably get one from Amazon. I don't know what they're called. Electric stirrer, try that. Alright then, meal one, which was prepared last night. Doesn't look like the most appetizing thing, does it? But it is maize pudding by ESN, which is made from corn, so similar to cream of rice or rice pudding by ESN as well, but instead of being made from rice, it's made from corn. Macros are pretty much the same, I believe, and then I've also got 50 grams of whey in there, 15 grams of almond butter, which is that shitty colour you see on top, and then 15 grams of raw honey. I actually did some research. No, I didn't, that's a lie. Apparently it's just better for you to have raw honey over the normal squirty honey you get from the supermarket. So I went on Amazon and I bought myself this jar of raw honey. This is the one I use. It's obviously a little bit thicker than normal honey, but you can like spread it on toast. It's just not focus. It's not the same sort of squirty consistency. That was a terrible description. And then we've also got this pippin nut almond butter in a big tub. So that's meal one. I'm also going to whack some bloobs on here. £100 grams. Now the reason I prepare this the night before is because I prefer it cold, and then I can just literally wake up, eat it straight away. Usually I've got to be out the door by 5:45 for a PT, but today I haven't got one that early, so I can relax, I can take my time. And then I just blast this in the microwave for 1 minute, and yeah, that just melts the blueberries nicely and it's good to go. If you do buy the pudding mixes at ESN, and I do suggest you try them, they're really, really good. So you've got the maize one and you've got the rice pudding one. The way I got shown how to prepare it is you put the amount in a glass bowl like that. If you've got one, a mixing bowl works great. So this is 125 grams. And then you add boiling water. Let me start that again. You take the number you've got in the bowl, times it by 3, and add that much boiling water. There you go. That was less autistic, wasn't it? But yeah, it's really, really good because you don't need as much water, and as a result, probably digest a little bit better than cream of rice. For me, it might not digest well for you, but it's worth a try. And if you've got a good whey flavour, very nice. Whoa. Let's bring you down to my level. Here we have it. M1, also known as breakfast, or first breakfast. This is going in at 6, a little bit later than when I usually have it. Here we go. That is delightful. I've used birthday cake flavour whey. Don't tell Kat. Kat, if you're watching this, I have stolen your whey. I'm sorry. But I wanted to see what it tasted like with this one. And it's very good. And what I'm going to do after this is go to the gym, do a bit of movement, because not that I struggle, but I always am more productive when I move my body. Whether that's just some steps, a little bit of cardio. And that's why I like doing PTs, because it switches my brain on. Gets those neurons, if that's the right word, firing. And then when I come to do my check-ins with online clients, I'm a bit more, the words just roll off the tongue better, to be fair. Not that I'm struggling with that this morning, I'm just chatting absolute shit. So, eat this, gym, check-ins. Very productive morning so far. Like I said, went to the gym, did some steps, 10 minutes on the Stairmaster, just get the heart pumping. Good for the old ticker. got back, check-in's done, started a new client setup, and now it is coming up to 8:45, time for the next meal. And usually I would have 2 more meals, then train, but I'm gonna have my pre-workout meal now because I want to train a little bit early today. The problem with going to the coach is if you leave it too late, then you end up getting stuck in some traffic on the way back. So I'm gonna train a little bit earlier today. And yeah, this meal is chicken and rice, your typical bodybuilder style meal, super anabolic. So gonna chef this up. Also comes with a crumpet, some dark chocolate, some jam. It's delightful. I'm going to talk a little bit more in the next clip about what I've been doing, where I've been, and just a bit of a life update. So stay tuned for that thrilling information coming your way. Next meal going down, we've got chicken, rice, some veg, Frank's buffalo hot sauce, and yogurt. If you've not tried that combo, highly recommend it. If you kind of like Turkish food, Mediterranean style food, Greek, that sort of thing, you basically got yourself like a healthy version of a Turkish meal out, I guess. And then we've also got a crumpet with some jam, dark chocolate, which is melting, and some pineapple, 150 grams. So what I do with this crumpet, it's fucking dark chocolate's going everywhere. I obviously toast it, whack the jam on, put the dark chocolate on top, and then just whack it on the air fryer on the highest heat for like a couple of minutes, and it just melts all the dark chocolate on top, and it is absolutely banging. Although it does get dark chocolate all over your teeth. So let's do a little taste test, shall we? It would be rude not to, wouldn't it? What I also do with each of my meals as well is I add about 1.6 grams, I believe. Is it 1.6, 1.8? Yeah, 1.6. 1.6 grams of pink salt, which equates to 8 grams of sodium across the day. And I've worked out that the salt grinder I'm using, if I turn it 8 times, that is roughly 1.6 grams. So I don't weigh that out to the exact grammage. Grammage, is that a word? Fuck knows. It is a word now. But I just turn the grinder 8 times and I know that's roughly the amount. And that goes into each meal. So if you're slacking on your sodium intake, boys and girls, sort your shit out because it is very beneficial for you. Obviously there's an amount that's too much, right? But in terms of your overall electrolyte balance, which contributes to your training performance in the gym, it's vital. So you need to be adding some sodium to your meals, ideally pink salt, because it's one of the best quality of salts you can get. Here we go. Yeah, good. That's all I've got to say. Onto the crumpet. This is going to be messy. I mean, it's so good, but look at it. That is hideous. I've just wiped my mouth and now I've got dark chocolate all over it as well. I can't even lick that because my tongue is covered in dark chocolate. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, it's just making it worse. Jesus! It was so good, but so messy. I need to not put it in the air fryer for as long next time. So sorry you have to watch this. I'm gonna leave for the gym in about an hour and a half and probably film the upper session. Before that, I'll do a bit of a catch up. Is this song absolutely glued in anybody else's head? It's that fucking track that's going around. It's like, 'cause my anxiety. This brings a tear to my eyes. It gets me emotional. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. I tell you what, I don't know what it is about when the sun comes out, but it just puts me in a fucking good mood. I'm just in a brilliant mood today. Honestly, the whole journey here, usually I'll listen to a podcast, but I found this Spotify playlist, Throwback Video Hits. it's bringing back some memorabilia, like that one, Complicated by Avril Lavigne, is it? Yeah, absolute banger. Absolutely, if you don't agree, fuck off, mate. But yeah, it's funny what the sun does, doesn't it? Or I'm just in a weird mood today. Nearly at the coach now, about to sing my pre in a bit. I was going to do a little bit of a catch up here, but nearly at the gym now, so I was too busy boogieing to myself. So I'll chat a little bit more about life after this upper session. I guess I can do a little bit now, to be fair. So I think the last video you would have seen was us getting Bella, and it's probably been like 2-3 weeks since then, hasn't it? Slacking. We've had her for about 4 or 5 weeks now, I think, and Kat is currently in Scotland with her for the week. So it's the first time Kat and I have been apart for more than a day since she's moved in. So I miss them both, to be honest. I do miss them both, but in saying that, it's quite nice having a little bit of quiet in the flat, I won't lie, and not doing as much washing up. That's also very nice. So they come back on Saturday, but between when we got Bella to now, I've changed my split around a little bit. I'm doing 2 upper, 2 lower sessions now, and an arm top up day, which is like arms, side delts, a little bit of abs as well. And yeah, the training with Bella's going really, really well. She's an absolute angel, to be honest. We're very lucky with her. Not only is she absolutely adorable, but she's very intelligent, and very entertaining. Very entertaining. She's a little rascal at times. The only things we're really like not struggling with, it's just part of being a puppy, is the playful biting that she does. We did have some issues with like toilet accidents, her pooing in her crate and weeing and stuff, but she stopped doing that now, and she can sleep through the whole night without us waking up with her in the middle of the night, which is great. And yeah, training's going well, obedient stuff. The loose lead walking we're still working on, so she's not like pulling on the lead. But other than that, life's good. Life just continues on. But I guess that's probably why I haven't done a YouTube video, because I've been prioritising training her. Business has been good, so obviously clients take priority over making YouTube videos. But at the end of the day, it's all fucking excuses, isn't it, Jan? Because if I wanted to make time for this, I would. But I'll be honest, it's partly that, partly I just haven't really had much motivation to pick up the camera, which is poor. So I apologise for that. But like I said in an earlier video, I don't want to feel like pressured into making videos. I just want to do them when I want to do them, and not commit to like a weekly video. So you get treated by my beautiful face little and often. Aren't you lucky? Okay, training segment of the video, upper session. Now recently I've been experiencing a little bit of a shoulder niggle. Any kind of direct overhead pressing work, or even other pressing work in general, seems to be aggravating it a little bit for some reason. Even some lateral work, which is why I swapped to this movement. So this cuff lateral I was able to do pain-free, but the usual machine side lateral raise that I do, for some reason causing a little bit of aggro. So I'm using the Cybex Bravo here to my advantage with the chest pad, so I can lean into that. Almost acts as some people would do it seated or leaning into a bench. It's sort of the same concept, again increasing stability, able to generate more force, really just focus on driving that arm out to the side. And you can see that the cable is set up so it's pulling my arm directly across the body at the bottom of the movement, and then as I come up, again it's set up in a way that allows the resistance to drop off a little bit where I get weaker, and then I just rinse some partials here on the final set to fuck them up. And this is me having a shit after the first exercise, because that pre-workout went straight through me, I won't lie. Next up, the Nautilus Pec Fly. This is for sure the best pec deck I've ever used. It's so good. Like, the connection you get with your chest is A1. What I'm really trying to focus on doing here is driving my elbows together, almost smashing my biceps together. It doesn't matter where your hands end, it matters where your elbows end. And that's why this is great, because you're focusing on driving through the elbow pad. It's not something you hold on to like the pec deck that's next to me there. So that's my best advice with this. Elbows together. It's very easy with this machine to lean forwards as well and round the back.
and ultimately use other muscle groups to help you move that load. Just do 1 set here and then move on to one of the best chest presses there is around, the Nautilus chest press. Really nice converging profile on this, which means that it starts wide, comes together at the top, challenging the pecs in that shortened position as well. I have also changed up my form on this a little bit, so I've moved the seat down a touch to bring my elbow higher, as well as adding in a pause in the lengthened and contracted position just to reduce the amount of loading I'm having to use. As a result, trying to put less force through my joints and connective tissue because of that shoulder issue I mentioned. But yeah, great machine. Hard to really go wrong. Just think shoulder blades together, keep your chest nice and high. Again, driving your biceps across the body. I'm going to open this window because it's getting fucking toasty in here. Excuse the nudity, by the way. On to some back work now. Single arm pull down on the Nautilus machine. I usually do this on the cable, but to be honest, it's a bit of a faff to set up. And I've already reached the stack, so instead of adding on the gym pin, setting up the bench, but I might as well just use this machine that's available at this gym. So you can see my non-working arm braced into the machine, and then I've got that leg pad clamped firmly down onto my quad to really lock me in place. Again, increasing stability, able to generate more force. You hear me say that a lot, but it has a huge impact. Moving on to this incline chest press or front delt press. Like I usually do a neutral grip machine shoulder press here that targets a little bit of upper chest and front delt, but that was causing some pain on my shoulder, so I moved on to this flex incline. A little bit of shoulder pain, but nowhere near as much, so opted for this. And you can see that the incline is set up to which I'm trying to bias mainly upper chest, a little bit of front delt in there as well. You're going to get a lot of front delt work from the majority of pressing work you do, especially anything that's kind of on an incline or higher than like a 45-degree incline. That's a really nice machine. Also converges, so I don't, because it's later in the workout, I don't lock out at the top. Next back movement, moving on to the upper back now with this low row. Any kind of upper back bias movement, you're really thinking about scapular protraction and retraction. So can you see how as I row back, I lift my chest up and I'm thinking about pinching my shoulder blades together at the top. See that rocking motion? There, pinch. And then as I come down, I'm allowing my shoulder blades to come forwards, really get a good stretch across that upper back. Slight pause in that lengthened position and then drive those elbows back as hard as you can. And actually use your back to move the load, right? It's very easy to pull with your biceps, and that's why you see a lot of people with pretty terrible backs and big arms, because they pull with their arms. And then moving on to the arm work itself. This is a normal cable curl. Some people call it a Bayesian curl, I believe. It's sort of like a lengthened bias bicep curl. You can see I've set the cables up here, so there's a nice bit of tension in the lengthen to mid-range. Drops off a tiny bit at the top, just so you can see that from this sort of angle. But yeah, really nice movement. There's not many bicep movements that light my arms up like this one does. So yeah, very recommended for sure. And the key with this one is just keeping your elbows pinned back behind the body and just dragging the cable up. It's very easy to, as you curl it up, let your elbows travel forwards, and you just want to kind of keep them pinned back as best as you can. And again, using the Bravo here for that back support for stability reasons there. And then moving on to a D-handle tricep press down, one of my favorite press down variations. I think with the D-handles, it just beats like a rope or an easy bar, because you get that freedom of movement at the wrist, which allows for more movement at the elbow joint as well. So it often feels a lot more safer, I guess is the right word, on the elbow joints, and doesn't feel as it feels more comfortable for me. Trying to get as much elbow bend here as I can, trying to keep the elbow still, go through a full range of motion. Really nice control in the changes in direction. Good pause at the top, pause at the bottom, and this is the posing bit. Upper done and dusted, and this is the current rig into the off season. So the last time I weighed in, I was 208 pounds, which is 94 kilos, because I can't get this camera fucking straight, man. There we go. But because Kat's gone away and she's on prep, she's taking the scale with her, so I can't weigh in all this week, which isn't a problem. I'll just hold food where it is. But size has definitely been added, boys and girls, which is good. That's a wrap. Oh God, I feel pretty shagged after that session. Very, very good one though. Been having a little bit of a shoulder niggle recently. Don't know what's from, which has been bugging me. Any kind of like overhead pressing work and some side lateral raise movements have been aggravating it. So as you would have seen in the previous training clips, I've had to kind of modify my training a little bit to work around it. But yeah, I'm just trying not to do any movements that cause it pain and not trying to exceed my active range of motion. So say for instance you're doing a chest press, right? This is how far I can come back to. The only way I can come back further than this if I force my hands back. So I'm trying to stop all the movements within my active range, which for a chest press that's this sort of angle would be there. So I'm not letting it pull me into this position that I don't have available naturally. Maybe I was allowing some movements to pull me into a passive range, it's called. Anyway, enough waffle about that. Because that was a long session, ended up having a bit of a chit chat. I'm behind on meals. It is currently coming up to 1:30. I should have had this meal about an hour and a half ago. But we've got rice pudding mixed with sweet and salty popcorn whey, 1 banana, cherries, 100 grams and honey. I think that's it. So I'm going to prepare this. There's a hair in my cream, not my cream of rice, my rice pudding. And tuck in.
This is something that you should have learned.
Just pause that. Anybody else fans of bodybuilding and bollocks or the Real Bodybuilding podcast in general? Comment down below if there's any other fans. My other go-to podcast listens, if you were interested. Diary CEO, watch some of those every now and again if there's a bit of an interesting speaker. I'm really liking speakers that talk about how to communicate properly. It's really intriguing to me because I think your ability to communicate can get you so much further along in life. Like for me, for instance, within my industry or my career, I might be the best coach. If I can't communicate that and talk to people, I'm not going to fucking get anywhere. Whereas on the flip side, the other extreme, you could be the worst coach, but if you're a fucking really good communicator, you can sell to people, you know? So it's about having both, isn't it? Obviously, being well educated, a good coach, but also a good communicator, so you can help people, make them realize that you can actually help people. You can actually help them, and you do that by being able to communicate your skill set, like I just did there. That was quite good, wasn't it? And actually, whilst I'm waffling on, talking to the camera like this has helped with that so fucking much. Like doing content on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, I wouldn't be able to talk like this right now without have done in this for the past couple of years. I used to really not so much struggle, but if you asked me to do this 2-3 years ago, I wouldn't be able to string together a sentence very well at all. It'd be ums and ahs and this, that and the other, but now it kind of just nicely rolls off the tongue, and I think that's just from frequently talking to the camera and, you know, communicating with other people and also listening to podcasts about it. So you can learn a lot for free. Tastes like just as it does on any other day, but it's good. It is good. It's getting to the stage now where, like, I'm look forward to my next meal, don't get me wrong, but I'm just seeing food as sort of like a tool to get me to where I want to go. I've never got to the stage of a gaining phase where I've lost my appetite and I just really don't want to eat. So I'm quite lucky in that sense. I'm quite a good eater, I guess. But my calories are around about 4,500 right now, and this is probably joint the highest I've ever been, but my appetite is better this time around. So I reckon my tolerance would be like 5,500, 6,000. Whether they get that high this off season, who knows? Bit of a life update then, and plans for the future. I've probably touched on this in previous videos, but if anybody cares, thought I'd just refresh your memory. So like I kind of said earlier, since the last video, obviously my priority has been not only training Bella up properly, but also just investing in most of my time into my current clients. Now I'm at the stage where Bella's pretty well trained, I guess. Like, she can be left unsupervised for periods of time, which allows me to just crack on with work. So that's good, which means I can put more time back into YouTube, hopefully, as well as just progressing the business forward, which is my absolute priority right now. Trying to help more people. That is my goal as a coach. I do what I do because I love helping people, not to make money. Obviously, money is a lovely byproduct of doing what you love, but it all comes down to the passion for helping people. So that is my main priority right now. In terms of future plans, obviously in an off season right now, as you can tell by my face, getting very moon-like. I think I've got about 13 or 12 weeks left of pushing, so roughly 3 months, and then I'll look to do a bit of a mini cut. Depending on how much body fat I've got will dictate the length of the mini cut. It might not be so mini at that point. And then I'll do another push, and that'll take me through till probably around December, January time, maybe even pushing into next year. And then if life allows it, I'll start a prep at the start of next year. When I say if life allows for it, if you've been following my channel or kind of know much about bodybuilding, you'll know that a prep requires a lot of dedication, some sacrifice. So there's a couple of almost tick boxes that I need to be in place before I can say yes. The first one being business. That needs to be in a good spot. The reason I say that is because once you get towards the back end of the prep, it's hard to put the same level of effort into things like making content, putting out posts. You're more just focused on keeping your current clients happy. But as a result of that, there's not as many new people coming through the door. Well, that's what I experienced last year anyway. So that's the first one. Relationships. I just want all my relationships in a good position, and they already are, so there's no reason why they shouldn't be. And what was the other one? Finances. Because prep is fucking expensive, and I need to be able to justify spending that much money on a prep. I'm pretty confident I'll be able to, but if, say, for instance, Kat and I turn around and say we want to move out towards the back end of next year, then obviously things change. That's not the plan, I don't think. I think we're just going to stay in here and, you know, live under our means for a while, because I've got a mortgage on this place and Kat just pays me half of the expenses. And yes, it's a little bit small, but it works and it's in a great location. So we may do with what we got for a while. We have to be grateful, right? Because at least we've got a fucking roof over our heads and a bed to sleep in at night. So that's a little bit on me. Like I said, I am doing a 4.5 day split, you could call it. 2 upper, 2 lower, 1 top up session. Calories you would have seen from today, they're landing around 4,500. Steps are landing around 8k every day.
I'm starting back up with cardio in 40 minutes per week because I've been slacking with that. Well, like I started it again last week, but 3 weeks prior to that, I'll be honest, I had not been doing it because I'm just lazy, I guess. It is laziness, isn't it? When you're not doing it for a fat loss purpose, it's easy to let it slip. But I noticed my fitness started to drop and it was taking me longer to recover in between sets. Plus, it's good for your health, innit? Good for the old ticker. What else? I think that's about everything, to be honest. Anything else I want to waffle about, I'll talk about later. I'm about to make my next meal now, which is my egg meal, which I should have had at meal 2, but like I said, I swapped things around. So that is going in. It's a good meal as well. You're going to want to stick around for this one. Oh, I think you know what time it is. Next meal. Don't slide off the plate. 3 eggs, 150 grams of sourdough. I've switched it up a little bit. Usually I just have jam, but I've split it in half and done raw honey on one, jam on the other. Underneath the eggs, there is olive oil spread, which is like a healthier version of butter, as well as some Marmite. By the way, Marmite is elite with eggs. If you disagree, do one. I need to get back on the Jason's sourdough. This one's from M&S, and it's alright, but Jason's is the best one I've had so far. There is also a really good bakery in St.Neots that I need to go check out. And they do a cheese and Marmite sourdough loaf, but that's probably going to be quite high in calorie. Anyway, got this. It's 3:30 now. And then I've got a PT at 4. And then I'm back, a little bit more work, final meal at 6, and then chill. So that is PTs and work wrapped up for the day. Final meal. Beef, rice, some veg. What I do actually is, usually I'll obviously have fresh veg, right? You've probably seen in a previous video how I prepare it in the air fryer. The veg combination I have as well, and I add that to my 2 savoury meals, but I have a backup bag of frozen veg in case that I don't have any or I just haven't got any prepped. And tonight I'd run out of veg, didn't have any prepped, so instead of just spending some time cooking it, which I could have done to be fair if I was a bit more organised, but that's why I have that backup bag of veg. Frozen in the freezer, bung in the same amount. It's probably not going to be as good because most of those bags of frozen veg do have some added oils in there, but it's minimal really, so, and it's very rare that I would do that because usually I'm a bit more prepared. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm currently watching Don't Die on Netflix. Brian Johnson, you know, the guy that tries to biohack and live forever. This is very interesting. I was a bit skeptical. I was like, is this going to be good? But it's actually very interesting to see what he does. And it's making me think about the value of life and how maybe sometimes we take our health for granted a little bit. So I've been deep in that recently. But anyway, shut up, do a taste test. Yeah, good. Like I said, food is fuel at the moment and nothing else. And that will wrap up the video for today. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thor, stop picking apart the sofa. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you are a frequent watcher of the videos, I'd love to know. I want to know who my audience is. I see people viewing the videos, not many of you, which is a shame, but we're getting there, we're getting there. Help if I'd be fucking consistent, wouldn't it? I want to know, are you watching? Are you liking them? Was there anything you want to see? Comment. Don't be shy, don't be shy. We can be friends, alright? I've got no friends. Anyway, oh, I forgot, second part of the meal. 70 grams of dates, which is about 4 medjool dates. Banging. If you're not tried dates, get on it. So good. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed it, people. That'll wrap things up for today. If you've got this far, fair play. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!